Guineas Day out at Turffontein, Saturday the 3rd of February 2024, race number 6 and race number 7. Those will be the two Guineas that we look forward to. The headliners on the day, the Wilkbos Gauteng Phillies Guineas, and then we've got the Tab Gauteng Guineas. Both are great two events. The Phillies Guineas race for a gross stake of 750,000 Rand, and the race number 7, they race for 1 million Rand. That's a gross stake. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohn. And Alistair, how are you doing? And obviously looking forward to the Guineas this weekend.
Yeah, Raheel, doing very well, thank you. It's always a great time up in the Halfalt with the start of the Tab Triple Crown of Wilkbos Triple Tiara, the history that's been made through these three legs. It's always an exciting time, as mentioned. Horse Chestnut being the first horse to have won the Tab Triple Crown, then that long wait until Louis the King became the second colt / gelding to win the Tab Triple Crown. And then after Horse Chestnut had won, a few fillies had won the Wilkbos Triple Tiara, Gugu Cherry on the top, among a couple, Summer Pudding another one, and it can be a bit of a hero maker. I think the most exciting angle about the Triple Crown of Wilkbos Triple Tiara this season is the fact that it looks like there's a very promising crop of 3-year-olds based on the Halfalt, and obviously the stamina test that comes in the final leg of the Triple Crown of Wilkbos Triple Tiara. If you win the first two legs, there's no guarantee, if you don't have stamina in the pedigree, that you're going to see out the 2-4-5-0 of the final legs. And likewise, those horses, I think Champagne Cocktail potentially a candidate for the points I'm going to make, that you might be undone over 1,600 metres and come into your own over 1,800 and 2,450 metres. So I think the middle leg is probably the happy medium for so many horses. But if you can win the first leg and win the last leg, then obviously you could be on your way to riches.
Yeah, it's certainly two races that we're looking forward to, and we'll touch more on it as we get into races 6 and 7. But race number 1, it is 1,160 meters. This is the maiden plate for fillies and mares. The exotics begin in race number 2, as it is a 9-race program. Race number 1, 12 o'clock is the off time. Agabomb, your favorite at 15 to 10, 28 to 10 about smashing. It's 33 to 10. Blip blip. It's then 6 to 1 and better bar those. Now Agabomb, well-bred daughter of Lancaster Bomber, obviously related to quite a few smart sorts. Gabor, probably the standout, given that she achieved a mark of 112 before being retired, and she was quite a smart sort, was Gabor. And this filly, Agabomb, won't need to be anything special to win on debut, and given that she hails from the Sean Tarry yard, I expect her to be quite forward and ready to rock and roll.
Well, if you remember Gabor, the half-sister, she was a Grade 1 winner. She won the Tigweni Filly Stakes on Gold Cup Day at Hollywoodbets Greyville when she beat Mill Queen. And I think she might have been seen once after that and never again. But as you say, this is a very, very shallow maiden to start Agabomb's career. And Sean Tarry's no stranger to getting debutants right. I don't know how long he would have had this daughter of Lancaster Bomber on ice. I'd also assume that he might have had a few sweaty palms preparing this horse for a debut. It was very unlike Sean for a 3-year-old to make its debut in early February, especially with this type of precocious breeding. But all the same, here she is. She must be ready to go. Serena Woodley has probably never ridden better in his career. He's banging in doubles and trebles in Durban and a few in Joburg as well. He's got to know Turffontein standside track very, very quickly, which is good to see. And to use the old adage, if she has a leg in every corner, she should be hard to beat. The Winter Path form is under the spotlight here, with Smashing finishing in front of Blip Blip when they met to the tune of 3 lengths. I see no reason for that to change. It looks like Blip Blip's going in the wrong direction. Or both of them try an extra 160 metres, which might suit Blip Blip a little bit more than Smashing. Smashing has a lot of cheap speed. Blip Blip seems slightly more versatile, although not much. And number 3, Magical Stories, I suppose, has to be recommended as well, but she's held by Smashing. So, and she also tries, the only time she tried anything further than 1,200 metres was her worst run. So there's so many chinks in the armour of various horses here. If Agabomb finds a touch of support, then I think that will be the office for race number 1. It is not a very pretty way to start on what is a very appealing card otherwise.
And fair to say that Sean will have a very good line between Sahara Dawn, Winter Path, Ethanata, and even a horse like Mia Moo, because he's trained all of those and they've beaten Blip Blip, Smashing, and Together Again.
Sean will be the first to say that doesn't line up his babies to get a gauge like that. But yes, and also the fact that there's quite a vast gap between Sahara Dawn and Blip Blip, Winter Path and Smashing, and then Mia Moo's form also higher up on the page with Together Again. I'd put it like this: Agabomb doesn't have to be better than any of those three Terry horses to win this race, but she doesn't have to be too far back either.
Yeah, just follow the market carefully with the horse number 6, Agabomb. She's likely one to find support in the betting market as we get closer to race time. Race number 2, 1160 meters the trip. This will be the start of the bipart. 12:35 is the off time. Precipice, your 11 to 10 favorite, 18 to 10 So Seductive, 22 to 10 Bob. It's then double figure odds about the bottom 3. Scratch number 4, Major Strides. Now this horse from the Mike de Kock yard, JP van der Merwe takes a ride. It's obviously a small field, so the draw won't be too much of a concern, and he's a horse that likes to be dropped out. He returns after Gauteng and a rest. He's obviously got the form to be extremely competitive, but then you have a look at number 7, So Seductive, and the question mark with her is that how fit is she heading into the race? She's obviously not going to need to be at 100% to win, because she's got very, very strong form to her name.
I think So Seductive's got better form, Raheel, but the obvious worry is nearly 300 days off the track. That raises alarm bells with his daughter of Vercingetorix, his very well-bred daughter of Vercingetorix as well. I think the key when you open this race is Precipice has now been gelded. Before his debut, I had a chat to Mike de Kock. Obviously, taking the piece was owned by good friends of mine, and she won the first 2 legs of the Volkerbos Triple Tiara, and she's the mare of Precipice. And Murray Makepeace has retained a share in Precipice along with Mike de Kock, Mrs. Doyle, and Mr. Muddyman as well. And Mark said, super talented, but is quite hot at home, and that was shown first time out. I actually called that race on Allied Steel Road on a Mission Mile Day, and he did put on a bit of a performance before the race to Precipice. And if the gelding's just taken a little bit of the edge off, a little bit of the steam off, and kept his mind on the job and focuses him up, I think he'll be a different horse. And if he's going to be a different horse, then I think he'll win this race despite So Seductive's undeniable good form. Ripple Effect's now a grade 2 winner. Mrs. Geriatrics was the champion 2-year-old of last season. White Pearl got to have a chance in the first leg of the Volkerbos Triple Tiara, although I prefer a few others on my pecking order, but it wouldn't surprise me if White Pearl throws her weight around. So that's the level that So Seductive brings, and whereas Precipice probably hasn't run to that level, even though Edward Rye, Frank's form subsequently, Midwinter Wind, who ran in front of Precipice, has Frank's form, although it took him a while. But I just think there's got to be a turnaround with Precipice, just with what I saw from him in his first start. And if that does turn him around and put him on the right track, then there could be any amounts of improvement to come. JP van der Merwe is in town to take the ride. Big positive, and I'm going to tip him on top in the first leg of the bipod. However, if he does go down to the start and there's a pony and he throws his head around and he behaves poorly, then you got that wiggle room, you got that 10-minute wiggle room just to reconsider your bipod. And the backup would probably actually be number 1, Bob, just because I think he might have a little bit more reliability than number 7, So Seductive, with taking nothing away from So Seductive's form that she brings into the picture.
Bob at around 22 to 10 could just be the backup to horse number 6, Precipice, but he's definitely the one to beat, given that he does have his first start after Gauteng and could make all the difference. Race number 3, 1160 meters. It's an MR80 handicap. Siberian Steel, your favorite in the start of the PA, 22 to 10. 6 to 1 about Dreamland, 7 to 1 Joker Man, 7 to 1 Fully Automatics. It's then 8 to 1 and better bar those. Now, there's quite a gap in the market between Siberian Steel and the balance of the runners, but when we have a look at his recent form, it's definitely very, very attractive form, and he's knocking on the door for that 4th career victory after a run-up position in his last 2 starts. And given that he's got an 8 draw, he should really get the run of the race, and he looks to be the horse that they all need to set their sights on.
I think there's more in favour of number 1, Siberian Steel, than anyone else here, Raheel. He's got to give weight away. A little bit worried about how the Peter horses ran at the Vaal on Thursday. That is a slight cause for concern. But they tend to come alive on the big day, and they tend to be a little bit better at Turffontein as well. So I think number 1, Siberian Steel, just being pipped by Silver Tudor last time. I mean, let's say hypothetically the bob of the noses goes the other way. Does Siberian Steel escape with a £1 penalty? No. Even though it's my pet hate for punishing losers, £1 for a short head, I can stomach. So I think number 1, Siberian Steel, could be rewarded for consistency. His last run to Silver Tudor. I know Silver Tudor's a nice horse. I think that he's got a couple more wins in the tank. I don't think he's the easiest to get onto the racetrack, but with that said, he's definitely got a lot of ability to Silver Tudor, and the way that he knuckled down and finished off his race last time was testament to that. And here's Siberian Steel just 2 weeks later to try it out. He's obviously got Dreamland held. There's half a kilo in favour of Dreamland, but Dreamland's got to find nearly a length and a half to turn it around with number 1, Siberian Steel. I don't think that's quite enough because they back over the same course and distance. I don't think conditions will be all that different either. So I think Siberian Steel will hold sway over Dreamland. Articuno, easily the most interesting horse in the race. That Just Be Lacquer form is very, very strong. Articuno came back from a 6-month layoff and beat Gold Agent well. How's that form going to work out? Probably not very well, because Gold Agent, although knocking on the door, I don't think she's going to be scaling any great heights when she gets out of the maiden. She might win a couple more after that, but Articuno made Gold Agent look ordinary, to be honest, and it took her a while to actually kick into overdrive, did Articuno, but once she did, she looked the part when winning. So she bears watching, does number 7 Articuno, although taking on boys. And the stable companion, that's another factor. Cabello Mazzaniani rides number 7 Articuno, because I consider this horse number 12 Cityscape above the handicapper still. £2 for running second to VAR Park last time, and VAR Park turned it on in good style under Pierce Stradum and ran away from Cityscape. But I think Cityscape just needed that run, and I think that she'll come on with the run under the belt. So there's another horse to consider, number 12 Cityscape. She is right on my radar. Like I said, she was actually quite her local debut. I thought she was an absolute good thing at the price. That meeting got cancelled, and I thought the last run against boys probably the wrong race to go for, but nothing else. This race I also think might not be the right race. So Cityscape, when she gets into the right event, head down following through, and it wouldn't be beyond her running a nice race. But I think 1 and 7 will suffice in the P8, maybe a couple more for the bar pot.
Well, both these horses from the Brett Crawford yard do represent some good value at around 8-1, and could be very good backup to horse number 1 Siberian Steel in race number 3 on the program. Moving along to race number 4, the start of the pick 6. Pinnacle Stakes over 2,400 meters. 13:45 is the off time, and Alistair's suggested bet is a pick 6, so he's definitely going to be hoping that first leg he can strike it with horse number 1 Zeus, who's in incredible form. He's obviously gets on extremely well with Gavin Larena. He's won all 9 of his races when Gavin has ridden him, and it was a facile win last time out. In fact, all of his victories so far have been emphatic, and he's left the opposition standing still. Now, he beat Good Counsel, giving Good Counsel 4 kgs last time out. Good Counsel meets him on 2 kgs better terms, and I thought if there was to be a horse to beat Zeus, it could be Good Counsel at around 9-2 in the market, but Zeus, strong favourite at 4-10, and I'm sure the yard expect him to win once again.
Well, Raheel, my suggested bet when there is a pick 6 carryover will be the pick 6. As always, I want to give punters the best opportunity and a little bit of hopeful good advice to catch what's likely to be the biggest pool by quite a margin, and also boost that pool. 3 million rand is the target in this pick 6, which I think is a tad conservative, even though the pools this week haven't been up to scratch. But maybe there have been some punters reeling off the Met Day and looking forward to this day. So let's hope we can get to the 3 million. I bumped into co-owner Jonathan Nassif at the sales, and I asked him about how the yard's going. It's obviously flying, and he said, right, the next one will be Zeus on Guineas Day. Well, here's Zeus on Guineas Day. As you mentioned, Gavin Larena has won all 9 starts on Zeus. I think that he's the most solid 2,400 meter horse in the race. I do agree that if there is a horse to trouble Zeus, it could be number 4, Good Counsel. He's got 3.5 lengths to fine for a 2-length deficit, but now he gets the services of Calvin Habib. So that could give Good Counsel his best chance of turning around with Zeus. But I think Zeus is a grizzled stayer. He's a battle-hardened stayer, whereas Good Counsel's just kind of been reaching his way back to form. Slow burn as well, as you would expect from Pettigrew. I'm sure Pettigrew will be fairly confident that number 4, Good Counsel, can trouble number 1, Zeus. But the way Zeus turns it on, I think he's winning easier than his margin suggests. I think that he's probably in the best form. He's definitely in the best form of his life. He's running the Betway Summer Cup, well, even though not winning, over the long distance was an excellent effort. He was one of the eye-catching finishers in the race, and also switched at a crucial stage. I think he's a hard horse to beat. I've tipped a pretty affordable pick 6 on this card. So that has given punters a little bit of wiggle room to potentially include one or two others that you may fancy as the meeting goes on. And my alternative would definitely be number 4, Good Counsel. But 2 lengths for 3 1/4 lengths, 2 kilos for 3 1/4 lengths, and Zeus making it look as easy as it is. Zeus will have to have a bad day, and Good Counsel will need to find a few lengths to turn that around, in my opinion.
Alyssa, the one thing that I think could be key in the race is pace, because when we have a look at Zeus and his winning and him winning, he's obviously had a solid tempo to aim at. Now, out of your league, he's been the front runner and he's been the known pacemaker. But you've got Muzi Yeni back aboard Breeze Over, and he's definitely not gonna just allow Out of Your League to go there and dictate and do as he pleases out in front. And last time out, I mean, Jason Gates rode this horse, not really knowing him well, but Muzi knows him well. And do you think that Zeus will get the pace that he needs in this race, or do you think they could possibly go and he could quicken up off a slow pace?
That's a loaded question, because you can't hurry Love and Out of Your League. Well, what are they doing there? Will both of them run? That's another question. You can't hurry Love ran 2 weeks ago. None of them are known front runners, but they could be out there. I mean, what's interesting is that Out of Your League is the half brother to Zeus, 2 years older than Zeus, and he could be the one to go out to make play like he did 2 starts ago, and that just seems to have taken the wind out of Your League sails. And then what will Breeze Over do? Because, as you say, he looks to be most effective from the front. He probably went slightly too fast last time over this course and distance, which probably put paid to his chances. But his best chance was over 3,200 metres when he won the ROA stakes on Betway Summer Cup there, when going to the front, stacking them up, just sort of playing them on the break. And Muzi will know every nook and cranny of the Son of Twice Over. So that's an interesting question. But I think, regardless of Breeze Over, I think the instruction is going to be ignore what Breeze Over is going to do. He might try and stack up the rest of the field, but Out of Your League, I'm pretty sure, will be out there to go and make a solid pace for Zeus to aim at. And if the pace is good enough, then the best horse generally wins, and Zeus is undoubtedly off a 117, clearly the best horse in the race.
And he's looking to notch up crew win number 10. Zeus, strong favourite in race number 4, and the top selection as well. Moving along to race number 5, a Phillies and Mares 95 handicap over 1,600 metres. 20 past 2 is the off time. It is the start of Jackpot 1. Lady Fallon is your 22-10 favourite. Ipso Facto at 33-10. Sukhumvit is at 7-2. It's their 9-2. Cape Light 6-1, and Better Ball. Those. Now, what do you make of race number 5? Obviously, this filly Sukhumvit, she's the unknown in the race, having a first start out the maidens, but all she could do was win her maiden well, and she did exactly that when dropped in trip. Draw 1, 52 on the back, and she's back up to a mile.
Small field, very good race. Sukhumvit, very interesting runner. The horse who beat her first time up, Beating Wings, has not looked back. I'm convinced Beating Wings has got some sort of black type in her. To what level, I don't know. She might even be top draw, Beating Wings. And had that race been 200 metres further, Sukhumvit might have beaten Beating Wings, and had Sukhumvit had an extra run under the belt, Sukhumvit might have beaten Beating Wings. Last up, beating Kissing Machine looked very easy for Sukhumvit. A slight change in tactics, and that she was closer, and she still looked very wet behind the ears, but draw 1's going to be a big advantage, and there's a lot in her favour of the lightweight. This is going to be a sufficient test. I think if she comes through this, it'll be no surprise to see her run in the second leg of the Wilkerbos Drift Triple TR in a month's time. She's got evident quality about her. Is it all coming too soon? That's the burning question. I think as it stands, she'd be my top selection, but that is a bit of a stretch, because even though it's a small field, there are a lot here that I give a chance to. This will give a good indication how the 3-year-old fillies stack up, even though the 3-year-old fillies run against each other later on in the day. How they're going to go looking forward, because we've got a horse like Ipso Facto who's run at the highest level. She's not a highest level winner, but she's competed at the highest level and not been disgraced. Cape Light, who for me is a force over this type of distance. If you have a look at her distance form, 8 starts, 2 wins, and 6 places. So only ever missed the frame once in 8 starts over a mile. So Cape Light's got to be a huge chance. I was disappointed with her last run, where she flattened over the closing stages. She might have been a run short. She'd been off, was a small layoff, wasn't a long layoff. So I'd take the stance that, from what I saw, that she might have just been a run away, maybe with all the rain that was around over Christmas and New Year, that maybe she was a workout short. That, even though a good run, that wasn't her best performance. And then number 4, Lady Fallon. There are a few talking about Lady Fallon, she disposed of My Lady Soul with ease at her penultimate start. And My Lady Soul won a good race just over a week ago. Craig Zaki takes the draw, and she looks like she's potentially above the curve, even though getting £3 for being a loser last time. She earned a fourth place in a feature race in the Mother Russia Stakes, so nothing wrong with that form as well. So 1, 2, 4, and 7 are going to be my numbers in the first leg of the first jackpot. And then the other horse that I'm just a little bit wary of is number 3, River Quarares. I'm wary of her not having her in, but I'm also wary of her over a mile. She runs like she gets a mile, but her form over a mile is not good enough. But what I saw last time is a dangerous horse. If this was a 1400, I'd just about tip River Quarares on top, but I'm just not convinced that she reaches a mile. So debating with myself whether I'm being foolish not putting her in, but 1, 2, 4, and 7, my numbers bracketed with number 3 at the end.
Race number 5, quite an interesting race, and Alistair going with 4 horses in the pick 6. Race number 6, this is the Wilkebos Drift Gauteng Phillies Guineas, a grade 2 over 1600 meters, and Give Me Another is your favorite, and not surprising to see at the top of boards. 9 to 10, unbeaten, 4 from 4. Silver Sanctuary 4 to 1 after a near miss in the Cape Phillies Guineas, beaten behind Beach Bomb. It's 7 to 1 White Pearl, 8 to 1 Egyptian Mao, Let's Go Now, 12 to 1 and Better Bar those. Now Give Me Another, she looked to be a very, very smart filly when she won the AP Tombi last time out, beating Feather Boa. She beat them quite comfortably. She absolutely sort of romped home to victory. 20-point penalty, going from a mark of 100 up to 120. It obviously doesn't make much of a difference in this race here, but she's a filly that has clearly got gears, and there's more to come from her.
Just to go back to the racing here, Raheel, Give Me Another could only get £8 for winning the Phillies Mile on Betway Summer Cup Day due to the conditions of the race. So she showed when beating White Pearl on that occasion that she was miles above the handicapper, and I think the extra £20 for being a facile winner in the EP Tombi also could have been a retrospective rating. I think Give Me Another is of high quality, but by the same token, I also think Silver Sanctuary is above average. I think Champagne Cocktail's worth another chance. I think My Soulmate will come into her own in future races of the Wilkebos Drift Triple TR. I think she'll have her vulnerabilities over a mile. So I think this is a very exciting renewal. Sometimes you can just get an average crop of 3-year-old fillies, whether it's in Cape Town, whether it's in Joburg, whether it's in Durban, whatever. But this is anything but. This is a high-quality crop of 3-year-old fillies, and Mike de Kock obviously holds the key. I mean, White Pearl's no mug either. Although I think if the first leg was over 1,400 metres, she'd have a better chance. But I can see her getting into the mix. Give Me Another's win over Featherbow. Featherbow is such a good filly. Featherbow has only won one lap-type race. That was the Betway Joburg Spring Challenge, but she's placed at grade 1 level. She was touched off the Wilkebos Drift South African Fillies Classic last year. She ran an absolute ripper from the worst draw in the Ridgemont Garden Province Stakes on Hollywoodbets Durban July Day. And Give Me Another made a very, very, very good filly look ordinary in the EP Tombi. The draw's a little bit of a worry, but she seems versatile. In her penultimate start, she came from last, she found engines, and she ran past the field as if they were standing still. And then last time she came from a handy position. I mean, that's the mark of a very, very good horse. So JP Funamava, I don't think will feel as much pressure as you would ordinarily feel in a grade 2 event from the deepest draw. So Give Me Another, clearly the horse that everyone else will be looking out for in the race. But Silver Sanctuary ran an absolute ripper to Beach Bomb in the World Sports Betting Cape Phillies Guineas, running a quarter of a length to Beach Bomb. Beach Bomb came out faint to own form by winning a grade 1 in the Paddock Stakes, the Cartier Paddock Stakes on Lamoral King's Plate Day. You don't win that race by accident. Even though Beach Bomb's run the Mallorca Stakes was disappointing, she was just flat. I think that was on the back of a arduous and long and unbelievable Cape summer season. So Silver Sanctuary back in town. A definite horse to consider, but I don't know where she fits in. She's not the most inspiring around, much like her full brother, who is obviously a grade 1 winner, Safe Passage, who runs later on in the day. Silver Sanctuary's a hard horse to pick in the parade ring. She doesn't stand out. She's plain, but she's obviously got it's a mark of the family that they can put these performances in. So Silver Sanctuary, definite horse to try and consider. And then we've obviously got number 7, Champagne Cocktail. Last run was very disappointing, but she's better than that. She's worth another chance. And I think number 5, Let's Go Now, is also a very good filly. Samango Kamalo rides for Sean Terry. She got up in the shadows of the post to beat White Pearl, and I think she's coming to hand. And I think in a few months from now, Let's Go Now will have a glittering CV, or certainly a more glittering CV than what she's got now.
I think it's fair to say that Mike de Kock holds all of the aces in race number 6. Moving along to race number 7, this is the tab Gauteng Guineas, grade 2, 1600 meters the trip. This is the first leg of the Triple Crown, and Sandringham Summit is your favorite, even money favorite. William Ironarm currently at 7-2, it's 9-2. Purple Pitcher 10-1, give me another chance, 16-1. And better bar those. Now, Sandringham Summit, he's no doubt the horse that they'll obviously have to beat. He was terribly disappointing last time out in the Dingans. He's returning off a rest and in new silks, new ownership. Purple Pitcher, who got his number in the Dingans, he got the number of Give Me Another Chance as well. So you'd expect those three runners to be prominent in this event, and the horse that surprises me to see him where he is in the market, William Ironarm, 222 days since he last ran, and he won an MR68 handicap, so I'm shocked to see him at 7-2. But whatever the case may be, I think that a horse like Storm Brasco could even get into the mix, as we mentioned the other day when we spoke off air.
Yeah, so William Ironarm, second favourite. I mean, that surprises me. After 221 days off, and I know that there's a lot of anti-post money. For those that are on William Ironarm, I won't be joining you. But if he does win, then I'll take him very seriously going forward. Let's go back to the Johnson work where Dingans. I'm going to keep this short. Sandringham Summit, bitter pill to swallow, getting beaten at 1-3. You say disappointing, I say unlucky. Probably dropped out a little bit too far out of his ground, made a lot of ground, ran into trouble. I don't see that issue from draw 3. I can see it being pretty uncomplicated. Purple Pitcher's got a wider draw to overcome, so he's going to have to work a little bit harder to get into his best position. Give Me Another Chance, I think, is a very, very good gelding, but I think pound for pound, Sandringham Summit is a better horse. As you mentioned, Storm Brasco, very interesting. He could be anything. At the weights, he's got zero chance, but I think he is miles above the handicapper. I chatted to Sean Terry at the World Sports Bet in Cape Town, met Drew about Storm Brasco. He was obviously going to take his place in the Cape Racing Gold Rush, and he didn't make the trip due to unforeseen circumstances. And Sean said it was actually a difficult decision because you can't turn away from a R7.5 million race, but he's got Triple Crown quality all over him. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that he stayed behind. You're right, I can see Storm Brasco getting into the mix, but I bank in number 1 Sandringham Summit because I think he's a quality horse and I think he'll win. And I think if he is going to be the horse that everyone expects him to be, he should be winning this race. Simple as.
Yeah, I think there won't be any mistakes being made this time out in race number 7. I think Sandringham Summit, I think they'll want to get the job done. Even money favourite, he's looking for career win number 4. Race number 8, 1400 metres, Pinnacle Stakes, 4 is the off time. Quite a high quality Pinnacle Stakes. Unzen, 9-2, weak favourite, 5-1, Cousin Casey, 11-2 About Safe Passage, 6-1, Puerto Manzano, 7-1, Dave the King. It's then 8-1 and Better Baldos. What have you done in the penultimate leg in the pick 6?
I've gone 1, 2, 9, 10 in my play here because I'm very, very, very keen on Cousin Casey. I think that he is undoubtedly my top selection, but all these horses are going to be prepping for the HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes. When I say all of them, sure, more than half the field I can see running in that race and then potentially stepping forward to the President's Champions Challenge in early April. But Cousin Casey is well overdue his next career win. I know there were aspirations to travel him down for the Met, and obviously things don't go according to plan. The decision's been made to keep him at home to target the mile race in a month from now. Richard Ferree takes a ride. His first run in Joburg was excellent behind Puerto Manzano in the Allard Steel Road on a mission mile. His run I don't think he stays 2,000 metres. I think he's just a top quality 1,400 metre miler who can reach 1,800 metres in the right conditions. So I think that this race is tailor-made for him, but also knowing Sean Terry how much meat is going to be on the bone heading into the HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes. So that makes me a little bit weary. Puerto Manzano runs very good races coming out fresh, even though this distance is on the short side. I don't expect him to win, but I'll kick myself if he does win and I don't have him on my pick 6. So he's more of a safety net. Safe Passage pretty much in the same boat, but the draws put me off. If he was drawn a little bit better, I would have included him in the pick 6 despite his undoubted ability. The horse that could be best set up for this race, because he won't need the run, and I don't see him as a grade 1 weight for age horse, is number 9, Unzen. He comes in here in good form. He's got a good draw. He's got a light weight. He had a big end of 2022. His first run of 2023 in the Wolf Power was a very good effort behind Silver Hills when just getting outrun late. Unzen could, by default, be the right horse in the race, even though he's nowhere near as good as the multiple Grade 1 winners that he takes on here. And then number 10, Savannah Storm, just continues to punch above his weight. His last run was disappointing, but I think he's a horse that handles lighter weights better than a heavyweight, with 52 kilos on his back. The fact that he could turn over Feather Boa, receiving that much weight from Feather Boa, I think that with all these horses prepping, he could take advantage yet again. He's a funny horse, Savannah Storm, and he's bitten me a few times, and much like Proteman's on, I don't want to be bitten by him again.
If Savannah Storm happens to come through, one thing is for sure, a lot of tickets will be dropped, currently at around 16-1, and could offer some nice value in the 8th race on the program. Race number 9, the final race on the day, 1600 meters the trip, 16:45 is the off time. It's a Phillies and Mares 76 handicap. Favorite is Courageous at 28-10, Mighty Goddess at 7-2, Francis Ethel at 9-2, at 6-1, One Religion, 8-1, and Better Bar Those. Now, race number 9, final leg of the pick 6. This filly from the Mike de Kock yard, Silver Hunt. Now, I remember she was set to run, I think it was a few months ago, and a couple months ago, I should say, and I think she was scratched prior to the running of the meeting, and we thought that she'd run a nice race, because 8.5 lengths to Give Me Another in this field, it should be good enough.
I think she might need it, and I believe she's looking for further heel, number 5, Silver Hunt. The draw's not ideal, and I think I think this is just to blow off the cobwebs for a race in the future. Look, she beat Lady Dynamo. Beating Lady Dynamo is not something you want on your CV, but you're right. The horses who have beaten her, My Soulmates and Give Me Another, especially Give Me Another, are of very, very high ability. So that's got to point you in the direction, number 5, Silver Hunt, of at least being a chance. But I'm worried about her over a mile after a break from a deep draw. So that's why I've sidestepped her. I've gone 1, 3, 4, and 7 in this race. Courageous is the favourite. The way that she's improved after her disappointing run at Hollywoodbets Greyville, when all the expectation was on her, and she ran, that was her worst run. She ran 5th to Mythical Tune. But since then, the way that she's turned the corner at work and her racing and her running style is been very encouraging. Go watch her last run. She was unlucky. Does she beat My Lady Soul? I don't know, but she was closing and she got shuffled back through the field. Got no idea what happened. Pila Sunday and Polly reported after the race that I had a bit more luck, I'll win the race. I read it slightly differently. I think with a bit more luck, she runs a clear second. But with that said, she's turned the corner. She remains in good heart, and she's at the top of the boards. I won't be putting anybody off. But it's not a one-way street, this. Number 1, October Fair, I think, has gradually come down the ratings to what's bound to be a competitive mark. Although shouldering top weight, she's got to be close to getting her next win under the belt. She's very well bred. Obviously, her sister, October Morn's a graded winner down in the Cape with Candice Bass Robinson. 3, Francis Ethel could be absolutely anything. I was chatting to Grant Knowles during the week. The report is that she's going to be targeting nice races, but again, just having her third start for a horse who looks like she's got a lot of scope, she's nowhere near the finished article. This is going to be a good indication to see which direction they're going to go on and how quickly they're going to get onto the direction that they want to get on. But because the reports are fairly positive, I've got number 3, Francis Ethel, in my play. And number 7, Mighty Goddess. The handicap has just done her big favours, but now that she's gone up £4 for being a winner, we'll see if the confidence is up and if she has really and truly turned the corner. I've got a feeling she has. So number 7, Mighty Goddess, I can see being a player as well. So 1, 3, 4, and 7, my numbers in the pick 6. 5, Silver Hunt, I respect. I also respect the chances of number 8, One Religion. But I'm satisfied with my run. But like I said, an affordable pick 6 I've tipped and can definitely add if they need to.
Well, let's have a look at that pick 6 from race number 4 until race number 9, and Alistair will take us through. It begins with a banker. So, Alistair, take it away with your suggested bet.
So 3 million rand the target, and the pick 6 begins in the 4th race on the card at 2:45. Banker, number 1, Zeus in the first leg. The second leg, 1, Ipso Factor, 2, Cape Lights, 4, Lady Fallon, 7, Succumvit. By number 1, Give Me Another, 2, Silver Sanctuary, 5, Let's Go Now, and 7, Champagne Cocktail. I've probably not been as brave as I need to be in the Wilgebos Drift Gauteng Phillies Guineas. By Banker 1, Sandringham Summit and the Tab Gauteng Guineas. By 1, Pertaman's Honor, 2, Cousin Casey, 9, Unzen, and 10, Savannah Storm. And in the final leg, 4 horses again. 1, October Fair, 3, Francis Ethel, 4, Courageous, and 7, Mighty Goddess.
Alistair, thanks very much, and looking forward to the meeting on Saturday. All the best. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Rahil. Likewise, same to you, same to the punters. I hope it's a good one, and we'll chat again soon. Looking forward to it all.
All the best with racing out at Turffontein on Saturday on Guineas Day. Hopefully, it's a good day's racing.